Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to a gaming news video. This is going to be the last gaming news video before the Game Awards, because you can probably guess from now, the Game Awards is actually 4 days from, and counting, can you believe it or not? We're only 4 days out from what is being hyped to be the biggest Game Awards ever. A lot of insiders have been talking about the Game Awards this week, and they've all been describing it pretty much the same way. They've all described it as like it's going to be the biggest thing to happen to the Game Awards in a very long time, and it's very bold words coming from insiders, especially given how, obviously the viewers, the gamers like to, I have seen the comments from gamers saying how the Game Awards is so lame and everything, and I get that, not everyone's going to like what they have seen with the Game Awards in the last few years, but there is that strong belief that this year might actually be better than previous years, because the way that the insiders are describing the show, it definitely seems like they're really going all out to make this better than previous years. Probably because of the game announcements. I wouldn't think it's because of the actual awards, because we already know what the awards are going to be for at the event, because they've already announced the categories. But I would imagine it's mostly because of the surprises and the announcements of games that are going to probably make the show better than it's ever been. Because, Jeff Keighley did tease at the Gamescom that they're going to announce games for the next decade. I know some people were a bit concerned by that statement, but some were very excited by it. And because a lot of insiders are all saying the same thing, like, oh, this year might actually be really good, it's going to be a very big show, they described it as. We'll have to see, but I think there's a possibility they might not be lying this year. They might not be lying. So I would suggest, for those of you who are not so sure whether to tune in or not, I would say give it a go. I know it's a big ask from me, especially from those who are not willing to give the show a chance, but I would just say just give it a chance. Maybe watch for 5 minutes or something, and if it doesn't interest you, then sure, you can move on. But you never know. Something incredible might happen, and then you'll be like, oh, yeah, I see now what I'm missing here. So that's all kind of my advice to those of you who are not so sure about whether to give the Game Awards this year a chance or not, or whether to give Jeff Keighley a chance or not. Just watch about 5 minutes. And also, considering the fact that I'm probably going to should I get approved for the co-stream stuff, which should be in the coming days, because they haven't, Jeff hasn't sent emails out yet, but when he does, which will probably be sometime this week, I obviously, considering I'm a Twitch streamer, I'm going to be offering some Twitch drops. They haven't told me what the Twitch drops are going to be, but it's probably going to be something similar to what we saw in the Gamescom, probably something for Warframe, maybe something even bigger this time around. We'll have to wait and see. But if you want to get a Twitch drop, then be sure to come by my stream, because I'm going to attempt to be one of the co-streamers for the Game Awards, so we can react together, enjoy this event, and see all these crazy announcements that are to happen, because it's the last big gaming event of the year, unless Sony decides to drop in. But we haven't heard any updates about whether or not they're going to have a showcase or not before the end of the year, but it's looking more likely it's going to be at the start of the year for Sony at this rate, but you never know, they might surprise us. But at this time, the Game Awards is pretty much going to be the last gaming event of the year at this time, until Sony otherwise announces their plans for a showcase of some sort, which they're really hyping up their 30th anniversary right now. So we'll talk a little bit more about Sony just shortly, because there are some other news from Sony that have come out recently. But yeah, just like I said, just watch about 5 minutes of the Game Awards, and then see how you feel. If you're not so sure about the Game Awards this Thursday, just give it a chance, because you never know, they might surprise you this year. Considering they're saying, all the insiders are saying, it's going to be a massive show this week. So fingers crossed what they're saying is true. Hopefully, I'm willing to bet that they're not lying when they say it's going to be a massive show. I'm sure they're confident on those statements. So yeah, that is the So that's essentially what is happening with the Game Awards as we head to its show this Thursday, when we will find out who becomes Game of the Year. Should be very, very interesting night. Looking forward to finding out who takes the prize. But moving forward, of course, we do have we do have a bit of an interesting rumour regarding the It Takes Two devs, the guys who made on the game. Apparently their next game is due for March of next year, because of new information that's coming through about their new project. Is that apparently they're going for a PC and console launch, apparently due for the 6th of March next year. So that's apparently a locked date for their next game entry when they do eventually release it. And there's been a lot of talk that the game will be revealed at this week's Game Awards. So we'll find out probably on Thursday what this game entails and whether or not the rumours are true about its game's release in March. So we'll see. But yeah, very interesting that their next project is due for a release early March next year. So that's pretty interesting turn of events. But either way, at least it's something to look forward to for any indie gamers who want to see what their next project's going to be like. Now, moving forward into PlayStation stuff, PlayStation Wrap Up 2024. This is basically similar to the Twitch recap, etc., but which, by the way, we'll talk about that shortly. But the PlayStation Wrap-Up is essentially looking at your stats from PlayStation throughout the year. Well, Sony have announced that the Wrap-Up for PlayStation will be going live sometime this week. So sometime this week, you will be able to see your stats for PlayStation throughout the year, see what games you've been playing the most, what achievements have you done, etc., how many games you got from PlayStation Plus. All that type of stats will be revealed to you next week when PlayStation releases their wrap-up for 2024, where you can see your PlayStation stats if you want to see how you did on PlayStation this year. And I would imagine that there's going to be a 30th anniversary theme to it, considering it's PlayStation's 30th anniversary month this month. So chances are there's probably going to be a lot of 30th anniversary surprises along the way to celebrate the occasion. So be sure to look out for your PlayStation stats next week on the PlayStation site, should you want to see how you did on PlayStation this year. Now, as well as that, we did get some news about the Twitch recap for this year. They have announced that the Twitch recap is going to be going out about 2 days before Game Awards. It's going to be going out on the 10th, which is this coming Tuesday. They announced that that's when the Twitch recaps for this year are going to start rolling out to streamers and viewers alike. Should you want to see who your top streamers were that you watched this year, or you want to see all your streaming stats, be sure to tune in on Tuesday morning, because that's when Twitch will be rolling out this year's Twitch recap for 2024, should you want to see how you did as a streamer in 2024. So that's when you'll want to log in on Twitch, and when you log in that morning, that's where your Twitch recap will be waiting for you. Now, as well as that, Xbox have also released the 2024 year in review for Xbox players already. So if you want to go to the Xbox page, there'll be a link in the description if you want to sign in and see your 2024 review of the year stats for Xbox. I've already got mine already, but you can see yours on the Xbox review of the year webpage, where they're keeping all your stats, and you can see all your progress on Xbox in 2024, where there's a lovely message from Phil Spencer that he did for all the Xbox gamers on their website, where you can see what he has to say about the progress of this year, and sort of thanking us for a very great year for Xbox. So yeah, you can check that out on the website in the link in the description if you want to see your Xbox stats, which are now available. Now, unfortunately, though, there are two games that unfortunately are not going to make it throughout the course of 2024 5. The first game is Foremost Stars. You may remember this as a free game for PlayStation Plus earlier in the year. Well, unfortunately, the game didn't do too well, to the point that now the support for the game is now ending in January. Unfortunately, the game didn't really catch on as the developers wanted to. So because of that, the publisher, Square Enix, weren't too pleased about it. So they decided to end the support for January next year. So Foremost Stars is basically going to be pretty much a dead game as we head into the new year, considering the game just hasn't really catched on with gamers as they were hoping it was going to. And yeah, the game, especially when it turned to free to play recently, it still hasn't really done enough for the game. So that's one game that's not going to succeed in 2025. And in fact, the bad news keeps coming, because we come to Ubisoft, who have just announced, and this is no joke when I say this, but yeah, in terms of Ubisoft, they have announced that they are going to be officially shutting down they're going to be shutting down their free to play game known as. Yeah, their free-to-play game, referred to as XDefiant, is also going to be shutting down as well, which is not looking good for Ubisoft, considering Ubisoft are also, considering the shareholders are considering a buyout. In recent reviews about the company, they're really, they're basically encouraging that Ubisoft gets brought out because of how bad the company's been doing in the last few months. And yeah, but like I said, recently they had to announce that XDefiant is shutting down, that they're going to be turning the surveys off on the 3rd of June next year. They're not accepting any new players after this year. So yeah, so basically anyone, and in fact they do say that anyone who plays the game before today, which is the 3rd of December, will continue to receive access until the 3rd of June, but obviously they're not going to be accepting any new players, essentially, going forward, because yes, the game hasn't really done well for Ubisoft. So yes, another disaster for Ubisoft in the last few months. Not really looking good for this company, is it? I mean, 2025 has to be a turnaround moment, or at this rate, they're probably going to get brought out by a major corporation at this point, because the company hasn't really done a bit of a turnaround yet, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad at Ubisoft. They really need to really turn things around in 2025, and it's not looking good for them already. So there you go. Not really the sort of news you want to hear about Ubisoft, but unfortunately the news keeps getting worse for this company, and this company is not doing very well going into 2025, or heading into the end of this year. The company's not really doing very well, which is not good for Ubisoft at all, but they're going to really need to sort themselves out in 2025. Now, as well as that, Path of Exile 2, the surveys are going live. The early access is now available. Should you want to check out that game, it's now starting to allow people to come online. Should you want to check this game out over the next few weeks. And by the way, if you're a COD fan, you'll be pleased to know that Black Ops 6 is going to be free for a whole week as we build up to Christmas. The free week, by the way, for Black Ops is going to be happening from the 13th to the 20th of December, and you get one free week of multiplayer and zombies, including the hideout and Hanako maps, including Property Hunt that's just got added into Season 1. So you get a lot of interesting stuff for the free trial. I also suspect that they're going to be dropping the price of Black Ops 6 during this free trial. So if you fancy getting your hands on the game in the lead up to Christmas, there should be some discounts coming up for Black Ops 6, which, by the way, they should be releasing some discounts as we build up to Christmas anyway. So there's bound to be some discounts out there should you want to join the millions of players who are playing Black Ops 6, and I'm obviously going to be doing some more content on Black Ops 6 Season 1 very soon, so definitely look out for that. But nevertheless, it'll be free from obviously from this Friday coming, 13th of December, all the way to the following Friday, which is the 20th. So hopefully this should give you a bit of a flavour of what you're missing out on when it comes to Black Ops 6 if you haven't got the game already. So yes, that is a free week coming for Black Ops 6, coming very, very soon, which is going to be great. Now, we also had some news that Kingdom Come Deliverance will be supporting PS5 Pro, which is a good thing for that game. Of course, that game is going to support PS5 Pro, considering the game comes out in February. So, of course, the game will support the latest PS5 hardware, which is good for them. As well as this, we also had some news about the Essential games for PlayStation Plus. In case you didn't know, It Takes Two is free on PlayStation Plus, which was very handy considering the developers are getting ready to announce their new game later this week. So if you want to check out It Takes Two, you can do that from right now, along with Aliens Dark Descent and Temtem are all free games, all the games that are free for the month of December. And of course, there'll be more games free for PlayStation Plus in terms of extra and premium that are going to be rolling out probably in a week on Tuesday, when they'll start announcing this week the extra and premium games for December 2024 for PlayStation Plus. Now, as well as this, we also had a big update for Fortnite. They've just launched their Chapter 6 Season 1 just last week. And speaking of Fortnite, they attracted 14 million players for the hip-hop concert event recently. So that just goes to show how many people were tuning into that hip-hop concert that they were doing. And now they're celebrating the launch of Chapter 6, which I'm sure there's been a lot of hype about the new content in Fortnite. And speaking of Fortnite, there's going to be an update dropping on Tuesday, which I believe is meant to be files for this year's Winterfest for Fortnite that's going to start. And they're going to start announcing details about that heading into this week, should you want to know what they're doing for their Christmas events in 2024, which we'll hopefully learn more this week, which would be great. Should you want to tune in to check out Fortnite for their Christmas event this year. Now, of course, we also had some news that Lies of P, which has also done pretty well, is going to be getting a DLC in early 2025. The game is set to have its first major DLC beginning of 2025. They're going to hopefully we're going to hear some more details about it soon. Should you want to return to Lies of P for their first major DLC release early next year. Now, back to Fortnite, there was meant to be a K-pop collaboration coming to Fortnite, but there has been a lot of question marks whether that crossover is going to happen. Because originally there was supposed to be a crossover between New Jean, which is a new girl group in Korean, that's supposed to be collaborating with Fortnite, but they just lost their license with their label recently. And because of this, it's now put a lot of question marks whether this crossover with Fortnite is actually going to happen or whether it's being cancelled. It's going to be very interesting to see what Fortnite does here, considering they were supposed to have them in the game in the coming weeks. But now it might mean they have to change their strategy because of New Jeans losing their label just recently. So, it's going to be, so we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on Fortnite and see what they say when it comes to their next crossover and whether they're going to still go ahead with their New Jean collab or if they're going to be collaborating with another star leading up to Christmas. We'll have to see. Now, of course, we did get some good news for Helldivers 2. They won the Game of the Year for the UK Industry Awards recently. So this is the first one of the Game Awards that's happened recently, and they've won pretty big for Sony at the Industry Awards just recently. They scooped the Game of the Year, the Best Visual Design, and Best Technical Innovation Awards at this event, which took place on the 28th of November. So very very good to see that Sony have won some awards at the event recently, in the recent weeks, which is good to know that Sony are doing very, very well for them, which is great. Great for Sony, considering Sony are giants when it comes to gaming publishers. Now, this was also very interesting, but we heard some rumors about the Horizon 5 is apparently ready to roll on PS5, but the release date has apparently been delayed. So it looks as though that they are set, Playground Games are set to bring the game to PlayStation. It's just they're not ready for its release yet. So we'll have to see if we'll get to learn some official details about this, hopefully at the Game Awards, considering this is apparently going to be Xbox's next release on PlayStation. It's going to be for Horizon 5, which is one of their latest for Horizon games, which is pretty interesting. And speaking of extra and premium games for December, we did get some hints as to what we could expect. The games in particular, which are going to be rolling out from the 11th of December. So technically, these games are going to probably due to. There's actually 3 classics due for Tuesday, and the games in particular are going to be Slay Cooper, Jackson Dorkson games are meant to be arriving from Tuesday. Should you want to play their classic versions of their titles on PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra beginning on Tuesday, which is really good to see that 3 classic games are going to join PlayStation Plus as soon as this Tuesday, should you want to relive these classic franchises from PlayStation's past, which is really cool. Now, of course, what was also very interesting is that Bloodborne surveys are getting maintenance scheduled for PlayStation's 30th anniversary recently. So I wonder a lot of people are wondering, could this mean that Bloodborne is back on the PlayStation radar in the future? I mean, nothing's been announced for a remaster yet, or a remake yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are working on one down the road. So we'll have to see what this means for Bloodborne, considering Bloodborne is a game that a lot of people want to see get remade for PlayStation 5 and for the future. So we'll have to see. So very interesting indeed that there's certainly some hints of the future of Bloodborne, and maybe the return of Bloodborne could be right around the corner. Now, of course, we also had some news about a departure from Sony. Shizuo Yuan, who was one of the exit producers of PlayStation, he's going to be leaving the company in January after 31 years of being a part of the company. He officially leaves the company as of the start of next year. So another former executive from the PlayStation's past will be leaving the company in the new year. So no longer a part of PlayStation as of 2025. But then we continue on to find out that this was pretty interesting from Gearbox, but they've recently flew out a terminally ill fan to check out Borderlands 4 ahead of its reveals coming up. So, turns out a terminally ill fan, a super fan of Borderlands, has actually tried out the upcoming Borderlands 4 ahead of its reveal, which is very interesting. So now we know that. So now we know that they are. That someone's tried out the Borderlands 4 ahead of any gameplay reveals. So here's the big question. Will we see gameplay for Borderlands 4 as soon as December, or as of the Game Awards? I suppose we'll have to see if we're going to get our first taste of gameplay reveal for Borderlands 4 as of the Game Awards on Thursday. We don't know yet, but who's to say it doesn't happen, considering now that someone's already played Borderlands 4 behind the scenes. So maybe a hint from Gearbox that they might be revealing some gameplay for Borderlands 4 pretty soon, if indeed it is playable, So it looks as though we could be getting our first taste of Borderlands 4 gameplay very soon, which would be very, very exciting for Borderlands fans who have been waiting to find out what Borderlands 4 is going to be all about. But yeah, and then of course, as well as that, Palworld is getting its biggest ever update on PlayStation this month as they get ready to. They're promising to add a lot of mystery new island to Palworld is going to be added into the game, and also they've made the game on offer 25% off to prepare for the update. Should you want to check out Palworld's new exciting new update, which is coming. So yeah, Palworld gets a massive update in the coming weeks if you're a fan of Palworld. Now, of course, that's not the only thing for news, of course, because we go into the Xbox side of things, and there were 2 surprise titles being added to Game Pass for this month. For those who are wondering, what are those surprise titles going to be? Well, the games in question are Hunter Showdown 1896, which is going to be from the 12th of December, and then also on the 12th of December, For the King 2 comes to Game Pass. So 2 more games getting added to Game Pass from Thursday the 12th, the day of the Game Awards. These games are going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass, which is really, really interesting. They're making them available that day. But of course, we all know that when it comes to Xbox, they're getting ready for the launch of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is going to be from Monday. Tomorrow is when the game officially launches on Game Pass. And for Xbox players, PS5 players are going to have to wait till spring till they can start playing this title. But it's good to know that Game Pass are going to finally give us an early look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, should you want to play it on Xbox this coming, as of tomorrow. And in fact, there's also been some early hints of major reveals from Xbox that are planned for the Game Awards, which is very, very, very interesting. So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. It looks as though that we're going to be getting some major reveals for Xbox as well as PlayStation happening at the Game Awards this Thursday. So definitely tune in if you want to see what those major game announcements are going to be. Should be very, very interesting. But for the most part, though, I think most of the interest for now is mainly putting all the focus towards the Game Awards at this point, because I think most of us are all looking forward to the Game Awards and looking forward to the announcements that are going to be happening this Thursday. And by the way, there's 4 games available to play this week. Crew Motorfest, Rainbow Six Siege, Parcel Cop, Now Rooted to Brew Rooted, MX ATV Legends, and Drift Town are just some of the games free to play on Xbox right now. But all roads lead to the Game Awards this week, so be sure to stay tuned to my channel for all the coverage for all the award winners. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about all the announcements that happened at the Game Awards in a separate video heading into the following week, as we will make that as our Christmas special this year. So, yeah. So all eyes are going to be on the Game Awards in the next 4 days as we get ready for the final big event of the year. That's going to close out the game announcements for 2024. And then the next time we'll see Jeff will be, of course, Summer Game Fest in June. So we're going to have a lot of games to look forward to as we head into 2025, thanks to the Game Awards. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you all soon.